morning, everybody. Just want to hopefully everybody's having a great start to your weekend and everything's going well. I just want to bring you a word of inspiration, word of wisdom from the book of Proverbs. Today we're going to look at a reading from Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6 from NIV version, where it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and not lean on your own understanding." In verse 6 it reads, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path." See, verse 5 is telling us to trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all our heart. Not just some of your heart, not just a little bit of your heart, but all of your heart. And it's telling us not to lean on our own understanding. See, we're not to lean and understand every single situation that arises in our lives. We are not to understand of why we are going through so much these days. We are not to understand of why we may not be able to find that job, or might not be able to have that income that we want, or live in that house that we've always dreamed of. We are not to understand of why we're maybe going through a hard time right now in our lives. We are not to understand of why these hypes or lights might have gone off within this week when everybody else's are around us were on and everything was going good for them. We are not to understand of any situation that arises, but we must sit back and trust in the Lord with all our heart. And acknowledge him. Acknowledge him, and he will direct our paths. See, he's calling on us to go through not only trusting him, but acknowledge him also. He is calling us to go through and acknowledge him for all the small things and big things that may have happened into our lives. All the good things that happen. And all the bad things that happen. And acknowledge him. Let him know that we know he is there with us. Let him know that we know he will never leave us or forsake us. Let him know that we trust in him. Speak to him. Pray. Let us hold the conversations with him. Thank him when times are good. Thank him when times are bad. Acknowledge him always. So he knows that we know that he is there, watching over us, guiding us, directing us. The more we give thanks, acknowledgement to him, he will see and work along us. He is always there with us. And a lot of times we don't acknowledge him. Small things will happen in our lives. Big things will happen in our lives. And a lot of times we just keep on going to our lives. And we let our lives control us. Knowing that he is in control of all things. Knowing that he is the one directing our paths. Knowing that he is the one that is working in our lives to bring good things to us. A lot of times we don't acknowledge him. But he wants us to acknowledge him So He will go through and continue to direct our paths to what He needs us to be. He will continue to direct our paths to reach us to better and bigger things. He will continue to direct our paths to bring us that peace and joy in times of trouble. He will continue to direct our paths to bring us our necessary needs as our great provider. He will continue to direct our paths to what He has destined for us. But that brings us back to the first verse, where we must trust in the Lord with all our heart. Even though we may have times that we acknowledge Him and we know that He is going through and doing things, there are times where trouble comes in our paths and we lose that trust in Him. Oh, it's easy to go through and trust in Him when times are good, when times are going smooth, when times seem perfect. It's easy to put that trust in Him because everything is going good. But we must also put that trust in Him when things are at its worst, when we are going through storms, when we are going through hardships, when we are suffering with job loss, when we are suffering with no water, when we are suffering with no lights, when we are suffering not knowing where we will get from one place to another, or make it from one day to another. Those are the times where we must trust in Him the most. There are the times where He is working in our lives. Those are the times where He seems like He is not there. And we must remind ourselves that He is always there with us. So I just come to remind you today to always put that trust in Him. Always put that trust in Him with all your heart, and not to lean on your own understandings of what situation or what may be going on in your life right now. And as you go through and put that trust in Him, and you see those small little burdens or small or big situations that are going on around you, acknowledge Him for that. Let Him know that you see Him working in your life. Let Him see that you are seeing Him direct your path. Let Him know that you acknowledge Him, that He is there, and that He is the all-living God of all creation. Acknowledge Him. Trust in Him. Let Him lead you down that path. Let Him direct you to your destination. For He has bigger and better things planned out for you. It's not going to be an easy road. It's not going to be an easy path. But He is always there with you. He's never going to leave or forsake you. He is there in spirit, around you always, watching over you as you go through your days. Just trust in Him. Put that faith in Him. Acknowledge Him. And He will do great things. He will lead you to the mountaintops of where you are destined to be in life. He will guide you through the dark valleys of death. Where there is fear, where there is anxiety, where things will try to keep you from rising up, Put your trust and faith in Him. Let Him resurrect your life to where it needs to be. Put that trust in Him, but not just a little trust, but to trust the Lord with all your heart. Trust the Lord with all your heart. He is there for you. You take care. Have a great and blessed day. I'll see you again another day.